we assemble a large number of media personnel ever gathered in this country. This is quite unprecedented in the sense that the total of media agencies, there are 281 agencies worldwide is here, to cover this tragedy. And also out of that, we have like 205 from foreign media. Besides, in terms of personnel, there are 620 personnel covering this event from day one till now that we have registered, and about 417 from the international media. This is something I can consider the biggest assemble of media personnel in this country ever.
And of course, you're also having to monitor just a huge amount of press. So you're trying to keep on top of, I guess, also what people are reporting. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When such a tragedy like this, it gets world media coverage, and then thus far we have sort of like monitored from day one till today about 170,000 headlines on this tragedy with the keywords of Malaysia and MH370. So from that down, we just want to know what are the angles of reporting made by foreign press, and especially media from China, who has contributed the large chunk of that headlines, followed by the media in the United States. So the rest is all the from other countries. So from then on, the monitoring is so important here. We wanted to know how the people report to this, and also from there on we provide sort of like feedback to the communication teams, to the teams that prepare the text of the press conferences and all that, so that at least they are aware of what's being reported, worldwide.
And what's your assessment of how? What's your assessment of how the international press, particularly, let's focus on that, how the international press has covered this? That is, their take on the story, their headline. What is your view about that?
Well, initially, based on our monitoring, the first 3 days, it was just like straight reporting, facts and everything. Now, when it comes to the second or third day, then only we can see lots of speculation, what actually happened, based on expert views and all that. And now we are on the 26 days of this tragedy. There is not much new information being put forth in this media conference, even from the search team in the South Indian Ocean. So much so that, of course, we can understand that media has to report something. And we just hope that they will not create information, they will not spin certain information for a certain benefit of that will, in a way, jeopardize the investigation, jeopardize the search. And of course, in the sense, is public opinion here. We were talking about the feelings and with the next of kin of them. That is very paramount in our view, in terms of our communication with them. We wanted to be, as open, as transparency as possible. No information being hide from them. But of course, there are certain ways of doing things. We from the high contact culture in Asia, we can't just simply say, you can call a spade a spade. There are certain ways of conveying the information. But eventually, it all boils down to what sort of information being portrayed, what sort of angle or spin that the media has been putting up. There are lots of also from our point of view, concocted information that has been, so for example, labeling the pilots and also the country as terrorists. That's very uncalled for. That's just an opinion from certain people that wanted to impose that opinion to the larger public. That's in a way, to me, is again a little bit unethical, to put two and two together without proper facts and start painting a negative picture.
That's the Daily Mail report you're talking about?
Yeah, Daily Mail. I mean, we just hope that the foreign media not to overly spin this incident so much so it becomes negative and it will hurt the feelings of the next of kin, and will hurt the feelings of many people. So we just straight facts, for example.
But do you see that some of the problem for the international press, and I can only speak on that side, of course, but some of the problem in terms of the facts that you speak of, the facts that have been provided to the press have been wrong on more than one occasion. Facts, as you put them, have been put out, and then days later, even weeks later, as we've seen in this latest case, things have been corrected. So surely, firstly, the Malaysian government needs to get the facts right before they put information into the public domain.
Well, it is, as I said earlier, unprecedented event. We've never had experience of this kind of thing. And when nothing sort of like a clear, concrete evidence, relating to this incident that we can put forth. Of course, there are certain things that assumptions that we made, maybe the investigating team assumption, because later on turned out to be a different perspective.
But can't you see that you're now criticising the international media for putting out speculation and rumours, but now you're saying it's okay actually for the government to have done that in the early days of this investigation?
It's not to say that, this is a side that we are also in a dilemma, or what has been said is just all assumption. There are theories of what actually happened. Of course, there is nothing concrete. We are not saying that. We, of course, at the back of our mind, we must ensure that all the information that being put forth to the media is verified, is corroborated, and also ensure that it's the truth information, nothing to hide. But of course, maybe the truth at that time, because of the investigation is going, but later on it turned out to be a different thing. That's something that normal in circumstances. But to label, certain, towards a certain individual country for something that is not what it is, then it's something that we thought that is a little bit too bad. I'm not criticizing, but we're just hoping that everyone can come forth, tell the truth, not to spin, not to put too into it. Unless, like, for example, the experts want to say it, that's purely okay. I mean, that's just what they think of what actually happened. It might not be the truth, isn't it? So that's a kind of a thing that we hope that. I'm not trying to create between the international media, the local media, and this is a time that everyone has to come forward. Every time understand each other's role, and this is a time also we must be very high level of tolerance of whatever shortcomings that from the government and shortcomings from the media as well. Plus, everybody should have their own shortcoming. Even the search team, maybe they have a shortcoming. But there are times that this is the level of tolerance that need to be addressed.
Can you maybe just help us understand why in this latest case with the information from the cockpit that Malaysia had told the press that the last words were one thing, and then of course now we know they were very different. How does that sort of mistake happen, and why?
I'm not so sure exactly what actually happened in the comms team, and it's different. Perhaps at that time this is just being reported verbally to the team, and now it's being sort of like transcribed one by one. Of course, during the process will be some quoted, or that some of the words are missing. But the point is here.
But why did it take then so long to correct that information? Because it's quite important, isn't it, to have the record straight, to have it correct. As you say, the reports need to be accurate.
I'm not so sure about because that is not within the information that's been provided to us. This is what we know. That's what they have been given to us. So I'm so sorry, I can't comment on that, the details of it.
The Malaysian press has been very critical of the international coverage of this story, and as you say, there are examples like the Daily Mail story that the government is very critical of as well, and it paints the pilot in a very bad light. But in terms of the Malaysian press, does the government have any role in directing the press here to to write about the international media at all?
No, there is no such thing. In Malaysia is, with a free press as well. They can write whatever they want. But again, in a situation like this, we need to be sure of the facts. For example, like if the foreign media, trying to put two things differently, or trying to put two and two together and get something else, that's not right. Is it? Like accusations, lots of accusations. The government is not doing this and that. I can assure you they've done their best. This is the best ability, of course, with the help of the foreign search team. So don't tell me all the equipment, all the latest equipment. If you're criticizing Malaysia, you're also criticizing the American team, the Australian team, for not doing enough to find the one small single debris, for example. So it must be, again, as I said earlier, a level of tolerance. Let them do the job, we do our job properly, and hopefully we come up with closure to this tragedy. Right now.
Okay, is it right that Malaysia might sue some of the international media organisations for some of the reports that they have?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure, but of course the media is reporting of what they've been reported by the foreign media. That's just no, but I'm not so sure whether that will have to go to that to that end.
Okay, so you must know though if there's a blacklist of media, or a list of media that the Malaysian government has compiled that they haven't liked the reporting of particular organisations, CNN for instance.
Well, we don't do like blacklisting or anything like that. Again, this is of open and free media, transparency media. It's just a matter of winning the public opinion here. You do your way, we do my way. So this is a question of following the ethics of journalism. You don't create facts just to serve your own ends. This is something unethical, in fact, in the journalistic world. We also know about this. So, but again, the lack of information, it's up to individual media to create stories that will satisfy their audience.
So that Malaysia won't try and ban certain organisations from coming back in the future, obviously, or certain journalists, anything like that?
That's not the policy here. This is open. People can come in, do the coverage. You're still welcome, whatever what being accused of. But again, this is about engagement with the media. We just hope that, again, all play their role to make this incident or tragedy to a closure.
And what about the Malaysian coverage? Have you been happy with the way that the Malaysians?
Yeah, we've been very happy. In fact, this is considered the event, or not to say the event, the main story for most of the newspapers. Whatever angle, whatever the search team's been doing, the agony and the frustrations of family members, next of kin, that kind of thing. And also, more importantly, the transparency that this Malaysian government is putting forth all the information without, it's not the question of timing, for example. Well, information needs to be verified and corroborated. So unless we do that, it will not be released to others. As you say something else today, if found out because not proper checking been done, it found out to be the other way around, for example. So it must provide truthful facts about this incident.
And so how much longer will you put on the
we are not so sure.
The food
well, the food and everything is open for all media that's congregate here, and then as long as it takes what the Dr. Sri Syamuddin say, we do whatever it takes for us to find the aircraft, and then if need be, then this media center will be open just to help accommodate and also to ensure the smooth reporting of whatever information from the media center and also to the rest of the world.